This is my brand new Toyota Camry. Wait, hold on. This is my brand new Toyota Camry. It looks pretty nice on this side, but if you look at the other side, it's not so good. So here's the situation. I bought this car over 1,000 miles away, wrecked. And it was kind of a gamble, and I went with the mindset of hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And luckily, I did plan for the worst because I kind of got the worst case scenario. I got robbed and the car got damaged on the way here, and it cost me a few $1,000s. But that's nothing that we can't get over, and this is how I actually was able to get those parts for a quarter of the retail price. I found a headlight with minor damage for just over $400 after taxes and shipping. The dealership wanted over $2,000 for that same headlight. Next, I ordered my radar sensor. Once again, the dealership wanted almost $500 for the sensor. I paid just $100. The last thing that I need to go ahead and order on eBay were blind spot sensors. Believe it or not, the dealership wanted over $1,000 per sensor. I bought them for $200 each. So grand total, that puts me around $1,300 in parts just in one day. While we wait for those parts to arrive though, we can go ahead and actually work on the car and fix some issues. So when you buy a brand new car, you might take off a bow tie or some wrappers. When you buy a car from Copart, there's a couple things that you have to do to really make it yours. First things first, gotta take this thing off, if I can take it off in one piece. Anyways, it goes a little bit smoother than that on average, but there's a couple other things we have to do. Hopefully I can get this door open. Oh, come on. The next thing that you always have to do with the rebuilt car is go ahead and take the key off. If it comes with the key, because you know, some don't. There you go. And the last thing that a lot of Copart cars need is this marker removed that the estimation company, whoever it was, used to mark all the damage. And by the way, I'm using really light paint thinner. It's not very strong, so I don't ruin the paint. They really were just putting marker on anything. All right, so this rim has some rubber on it, but it looks like all of it's coming off. So I don't have to buy new rims, hopefully. So that's all the marker off that I want off. The rest I'm going to keep so that when I get it quoted for the repair, hopefully they can use this information and save some time. Now I can go ahead and get to work, start fixing some things, start putting some things back temporarily. The next order of business is to go ahead and get this wheel off, see if someone is willing to patch it. If they're not, I'm going to temporarily plug it. If it's not safe, that's fine. I just want it so it's drivable. Oh dang, that's actually kind of bad. Quick piece of advice, when you take off a wheel, always set it down face up, because if you lay it on its side, it might roll or flip and ruin it, so don't do that.
Later.
I went to the tire shop and they said $450 to get a new tire because they can't fix it from this point up. So in the meantime, I spent $10 and I got a temporary patch kit or plug, and hopefully this will allow me to at least put some air in the tire and it won't leak right away. And here is the quote actually of $448. Let's go ahead and put this back on the car. Okay. Hey, this is Mark.
Hi. Yeah, so we do have the tire in stock. I should be able to have it to you tomorrow with tax. We don't charge shipping, so tire and tax would be $306.72.
Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to put the door handles back on because this is not very fun. I mainly just want to be able to open this. So there you go. Oh, note to self, be careful with that. They bent this when they were putting in the car. I should still be able to use the bumper, so I'm going to use a heat gun and persuade it back to where it should be. And you want to make sure not to put too much heat in one specific area. You kind of want to warm up the entire area so that it gently goes back into place and you're not ripping or cracking anything. Although this looks pretty good, it might be still a little bit in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it onto the car so that it can kind of self-mold it. You can see why I had to put the bumper back on because it's all warped. I'm going to take it for a spin.
Later that same evening.
I just got back from the body shop and I got a quote from them, or asked them for a quote. I'm going to be getting that in a few days. Here's the plan. We're going to paint the bumper and the valence and we're going to blend it that way. And unfortunately, this bumper wasn't painted the best, so the paint match isn't perfect, but that's not my fault. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to keep it underneath one of these body lines so that the blending looks perfect. He's going to fix the quarter panel, paint the quarter panel, just the lower half. We're going to fix the doors, paint the lower 3/4 of the doors, and then most likely get a new fender, paint the fender, and blend into the bumper and the hood. And then we're going to fix the little pieces on the bumper and re-clear the entire bumper. And lastly, I might paint the grille black. Now, moving on from the bodywork, there are a couple updates with my driving experience. You can see that I got 52.3 mpgs in the current state, which is amazing, but you can tell there are a ton of lights, and also the steering wheel is kind of like this. So I need to get alignment. That's like $100, but that's not a big deal. All of these lights I can tie to the missing parts, the missing sensors, the missing headlight. But one thing I'm concerned about is there's the seat belt light, which is because I'm not buckled, but then there's an airbag light. I'm not sure what that is. Usually that's a really scary light to see. Hopefully that's also sensor related, but once it's gone, I will let you know what was the cause, because I don't know yet. We got our first part in the mail, so I guess it's unboxing time. Let's go ahead and open this up. There's a lot of tape on this thing. This should be my radar sensor. It is used. That's why I'm opening it up before anything else, because this is an important piece. So we got the radar sensor with this little piece of wiring. I'm not really sure if I need this wiring or not, but it was actually cheaper to get it with the wiring used than it was to buy it brand new. And I guess we'll wait for the other parts to arrive. Okay, so not sure if you can really see that, but this is one of them. So this one came with some paper and a bracket. This one was actually cheaper than the one without the bracket, and this looks pretty good. Okay, I finally got my headlight, so hopefully I can legally drive. I don't think that's going to be a huge deal for $400 when they're supposed to be $2,000 from the dealer. I think I'll take that. So I just got back from the alignment shop and also got my new tire installed. So now I can hopefully drive somewhat safely. I just got my new headlight and my radar. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the bumper and install those two parts, and hopefully some of my lights go away. What? Well, I just plugged in the radar sensor in the headlight and I have no lights at all, which is kind of concerning because I haven't put the blind spots in. So this is good news, but it's also kind of concerning. Oh, wait, I think it figured it out. After that test drive, I'm pretty confident in the car mechanically, but there were still a couple things I had to button up before we went to inspection. Today's mission is to go ahead and put the door panels on and put my blind spot sensors in. My inspection's tomorrow morning at 9:30, so I want to make sure the car is somewhat decent. Of course, you know, it's a little scraped, but main thing is I want it to be fully functional and I don't want it to have any issues, so when I do show up to inspection, they don't give me any reason to not pass. This is the screw right here that screws the lock in, and I'm assuming once I tighten this, the door handle is no longer going to come off. Nope. Adding the lock did not change anything. So why does it keep on coming out then? Oh, simple enough. There's just a clip on the back side. Push, clip, nice. The way that these work is this one right here is for the lock. This one is for the actual latch. So the top one is the lock. Put it into the little pocket and then pop that in there. Same thing with the latch. Oh, come on. There you go. So now when you pull it and lock, unlock. Nice. And there.
Looks like you got it fixed.
Yeah, functional to me. All right, so that's both of the doors fully functional for now. I'm going to have to take them apart again, but now it's time to put the blind spot sensors and we should be ready to go ahead and take it to inspection. Okay. Nice. So this is the first time I've driven the car since putting everything back together. I have all the sensors connected and I even have door panels, even though they're not, you know, they're not screwed in or anything. Let's see if it drives how it should, and hopefully I'll pass the inspection tomorrow. Oh, and also this is the first time I can adjust my mirrors. There you go. I can actually see behind me now. Ooh, it's kind of nice. Kind of nice. No. Oh, it's actually reading signs. Look, it says 10 miles an hour, even though that's not true. It's 45. But this thing's actually kind of nice. Let's see, will it read the sign? 45 miles an hour. There you go. Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'm speeding a little. There you go. So far, so good. No lights on the dash, nothing crazy. I think we're gonna pass inspection. Now we can go ahead and head to inspection, but first we have to make a really important stop. Coffee acquired. I know that took about like 40 minutes or so, but we passed. There were no issues. All they really care about is that you have all of your paperwork. If you bought any major parts like door panels, hood, bumper, stuff like that, airbags, you do need physical receipts in the state of Washington. I didn't have to buy any of that, but I still gave them the receipts for the parts that I did buy just to show that I'm not trying to hide anything. And they go ahead and grab all of your paperwork, your receipts. They go verify that everything is legitimate, and they check the pictures of the car from the accident to make sure you're not lying. Then they make sure that every single door panel or the hood and trunk all open and function correctly. And they also make sure that there's nothing dangerous. But any like cosmetic damage, they don't really care as long as it's not like sharp or structurally like ruined. And they verify the VIN number, get your license, and you're good. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick cost breakdown on how much money I've spent on the car so far. You might want to get a napkin because you might want to cry after this, but it has to be done. So right off the bat, I won the car for $18,100 from auction, but that's not what I actually spent because there are dealer fees, there are taxes, there are Copart fees, all that stuff. I ended up spending $19,700 for a wrecked car. Without any parts, without anything else, just for the car, I spent almost 20 grand. And since the car was over 1,000 miles away, I spent $1,000 to get the car delivered to my house. Next, as we kind of talked about before earlier in the video, I spent $1,300 on parts and getting the car aligned. And in the next video, I'm going to spend $550 to get the windshield replaced. As well, in the next video, I'm going to spend $3,000 on a new paint job and some body work. And I'm going to spend $250 on a new grill. I don't need it, but I want it. And the last thing that I'm going to have to buy, or technically spend money on, is registration. I'm not sure how much that's going to be yet, so I'm not going to include that. I'm not sure if you're keeping track, but grand total, that puts us at $25,850. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with that price because there is a Toyota dealership near me offering a certified pre-owned Toyota Camry, same spec with technically more miles and a couple less options, and they were asking $37,000 before tax. So I saved about $15,000. Yes, it took me a month of time, and yes, it does have a rebuilt title, but it's the same quality as a clean title after I'm done with it, and honestly, it drives like a brand new car. You guys can let me know what you think below. Did I do good? Did I do bad? Personally, I think I did pretty good, but I could have done better because I did get screwed over in a couple areas. That's why I always say, plan for the worst, hope for the best, and honestly, that saved me on this rebuild. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and drop the car off at the body shop, do some modifications, make the car look all nice, and by the end of the video, hopefully it's going to look like a brand new car. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one.